Hi, good evening, and welcome to another Monday Night Live at Cafe Gratitude. This is what I'm talking about. This is a great crowd. Well, I figured if I had this many people on stage, if they even just brought one person each, we would have a nice crowd, which we do. We have a full house. It's more than 12 people, I swear. So, is there anybody here tonight who hasn't been here before? Okay, awesome. Okay, so, sorry everybody who has been here before, I have to do my thing. So my name's Shea, and I am the organizer of this event, along with my, as of Friday, new husband, Steven. My husband. We actually, he'll come up and say, hello, my wife, and then we both burst out laughing because we're not used to it yet. Husband, wife. Okay. So, right here on this clipboard, I have the sign-up sheet for my newsletter, which is, at this point, a year into having a newsletter, 100% committed just to Monday Night Live. That could change at some point. You can unsubscribe then if it's annoying to you. But right now, all I do is send out an email every week. And what that's going to tell you is who's coming next week to Monday Night Live. It's going to have a 5-minute audio interview with that presenter to see if you're interested in the event. And it will give you a link to the past week's video. We have a past speaker archive that you will get the URL to. And it is, I don't know, there'll be 48 events by the end of the year, and all those videos are there for you to view at least until the end of this year, and there have been some amazing speakers. So I'm going to put this clipboard right here, and if you haven't already signed up, please do so at the end of the event. The other thing I want to tell you about, obviously this is part one of a 2-part Raw Chef panel. Amazing lineup, and all of October we're having panels. So we've got raw chefs tonight talking about how the top raw chefs really eat. As a colon therapist in town, and I'm doing my hardest to get people transitioned over to a raw food diet, and that's one of the first things people come up against is I can't make this food all the time. I can't pull this off. I've got kids, I've got a husband that won't do it. I just don't have the time because I work. And I started thinking, I doubt the chefs actually are eating like this every day. So let's find out what they're doing. Next week on the 12th, we have a raw doctors panel. And so we've got 4 or 5 different doctors, an MD, a naturopath, an acupuncturist, a dentist. One doctor is 3 doctors, so he makes it seem like there's a bunch of doctors on the panel, right, Michael? But a couple naturopaths, so they're going to be talking about the benefits and the challenges of eating a raw food diet, what they've seen in their own experience and in their own practice. The following week, I think that's the 19th, we have a raw athlete panel. So ultra-marathoner, tricyclist. Sorry, Kevin. So we've got 4 different raw athletes, and they're going to be talking, and they're all like, endurance athletes. They're going to be talking about how to succeed as a raw athlete. And then the end of the month is the 2nd raw chef panel. So all of these panels are getting turned into different ebooks. And if you come to all 4 panels, and I have a way to be accountable to that, but you will get copies of all the ebooks for free. The way to do that is I have printed up these little sheets. You have either Steven or myself sign next to the date of the panel, and on the 4th panel you hand it back to us with your name and email address, and we will send you, when the books are ready, a copy of each. So that's just to encourage attendance. These also are right here. So, gosh, I think that's about it. Wow, so I know most of you probably know most of these people on the panel here. I'm going to go through and say their names, and then the first thing we're going to do is just let people tell a little bit about themselves. There's a 2-minute limit on each answer, so I'm going to have a little obnoxious gong happening. It's very exciting, and I'm also so nervous I'm going to blow it, so let's see what happens. First, right next to me, we have local talent, Cecilia Benjumea, who actually, I love saying it now that I know how, and she actually just got married herself, so pretty soon professionally she will be Benjumea-Kinzie, but for tonight it's Benjumea, and she's in Petaluma, and she actually does the raw potluck in Petaluma once a month. It's a fabulous, fabulous potluck. Hopefully she brought some information. Next to her, no need for introduction, Miss Sherry Soria, the star chef maker. Next to her, Shayna Dean, also local talent, Santa Rosa based. Catherine Ackland to her right, also local, Sebastopol, Raw Food Central. My girly crush, Gabrielle Brick, next to her from New York, but now you're living in California for a while, or are you heading?
I was in California for a while, then I went back to New York, and I'm back in California.
Okay, good. Well, did you bring any one bars, or are you going to talk about that?
I didn't bring any one bars. No.
Okay, she's got a killer product called the One Bar. If you haven't seen it in stores, you will soon. And then the rock star of YouTube, Andrea Prim. She works at Living Light, and I know I just introduced all of them. I said I wasn't going to, but they can say more about themselves. So I think what we'll do first is I'll have you guys do a little bit of a professional bio. Basically, how did you discover raw foods? And how did you become a raw food chef, and what are you doing now? And I'll give you a little bit longer than 2 minutes for that one. Cecilia. Oh yeah, you use that.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. It's so wonderful to see so many familiar faces and such a great turnout. So, can you guys hear me? No?
Stand up. Just don't stand in front of the thing.
All right, is this better? Yeah, okay.
Project.
Still louder? Okay, I'll project. Anyways, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Cecilia Benjumea, and I got into raw foods about 8 years ago. I had really bad chronic fatigue syndrome, and I also had asthma, and so I was actually able to heal myself of both chronic fatigue syndrome and asthma. So I'm really grateful to Raw Foods, and my mission is basically to help as many people that I can. I want everybody to know about the healing power of raw foods, and right now what I basically do is I don't really consider myself a raw food chef per se. I'm more like a raw food home cook, I guess you would say. I basically educate people through my website. I have a website, it's called rawglow.com. And my passion is just to educate people through sharing information. I have recipes, and I just started a blog and different articles. And in the local community, what I do is I hold a raw food potluck in Petaluma. And I will have some information about that, and also a mailing list sign up if any of you are interested. So that is me in a nutshell.
Hi everyone, I'm Sherry Soria from Living Light Culinary Arts Institute. I started my journey, I guess, when I was in my early 20s, and I realized that my own health was suffering, as well as the health of my family, and everything that I was reading pointed to the fact that it could be possibly related to diet. So I took a big leap of faith and I became a vegetarian. And at that time, people thought I would die if I didn't eat meat. Where are you going to get your protein? But, you know, I actually started feeling a lot better right away, stopped getting all those colds and all those other kinds of things, and so I stayed with it. And I wanted to meet other people who were interested in eating the way I was eating. And so I started teaching classes, and right away my classes were popular. And of course I was a good cook. I won my first cooking contest when I was 12 years old, so you know I was just a natural cook. And people loved my classes, and I continued to read about health for many, many years, and my own culinary expertise improved, of course, as I continued, and I learned more and more about health, and so the classes that I was teaching, as well as my own diet, continued to improve, and I went from being a vegetarian cook where everything was deep fried and soy based to being a vegan cook and everything was low fat. And then I started reading about a woman named Dr. Ann Wigmore. This was about 1990. And so I went to Puerto Rico to study with her, and I was absolutely astounded at what I saw there. People were being healed of cancer and all kinds of other life-threatening illnesses, and I was so profoundly impacted by what I saw that I swore that I would never teach another cooking class again.